fights. Exactly. Count me in then. I mean, that's one of the funniest scenes I've ever done, but that was my audition thing as well, Ben Starr. He said people will clip that scene.
What was your reaction when you saw the character?
At first, I was just like, what the fuck is that? And the good thing about Monoco is that he's not just a comic relief character. Some pretty emotional stuff going on.
What did you think about the movie adaptation?
I just hope it wouldn't be rubbish.
It's really amazing to see how much the reception of Expedition 33 is wild. A lot of people have been talking about the opening scenes and a number of other scenes in the game and how they love it. They call it their game of the year for 2025, and they, say all these good things. Do you go out on online, Twitter or Instagram and see what people are saying and see what videos they're posting?
I do, yeah. I mean, I've got a bit obsessed actually with looking at what people are saying about the game. For many years, actually, I have been looking up what people have been saying about me on the internet for various reasons that we might get into later. But yeah, I as soon as those reviews came out, the day before, I think the release, or was it 2 days before? Very soon before. As soon as those reviews came out, I was just kind of like, oh my God, 9s and 10s. Yeah, and it's just nice to see people so into it, really, and being so nice about the whole thing. Not just about me, not just about the other voice actors, but about the whole game, the design, the gameplay, the story. Yeah, it's really captured people's imaginations, and I'm delighted, especially because we had this press junket event thing.
Yeah.
And that was a week before release. And about a week before that, I went in and had a little chat with Jack from Keeble, who published the game. And we were talking about this, that, and the other. And he said, we're expecting the game to do well, but, maybe like 80 Metacritic, something like that. He said, people will like it, some people won't necessarily. And there might be some things that people think, well, that kind of, a few little rough around the edges things that might take the score down a bit. And a week before that, I went out for a coffee with Ben from the game, Ben Starr, famous actor Ben Starr, and we had a coffee in Shoreditch, very trendy. And he actually paid, just so you know. That's what a kind of a generous guy he is. But he said to me as well, he said, it will do well, but just to temper your expectations, probably Metacritic 80, something like that. So that's two people who know what they're talking about said similar things. So when I saw that it was like Metacritic 92 or whatever it was, and and it just seems to be getting better with these user ratings. Yeah, it's just another level. It's just incredible. Yeah, people talking about game of the year. I don't know.
I mean, I would love to see that. Definitely, everybody would love to see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I think all of us are very pleasantly surprised as to how well it's gone down. Yeah, so can't argue with that, can you?
Yeah,
and it's getting more and more. But word of mouth seems to be spreading. I mean, what are we, 3 weeks in now or something? Yeah, and I see all these people online going, oh, what is this? I have to check this out, and streamers are just starting to stream it from the top again, having, loads of people have finished it, but people are just starting it. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, some of my friends were like, oh, this came out of nowhere. I had no idea. And I remember watching this trailer last year, and I was excited from that time. Since last year, I was like, okay, yeah, this game is in my radar. This is the game I'm going to play. How has this whole experience been like for you since working since the very beginning till how everything has been now over this whole time that you have been working on this project?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's just been an amazing thing from start to present, really, because I mean, I've been doing games. I think I've been doing games for over 10 years. I think, like bits and pieces. I've played bigger characters and stuff. I've played smaller characters and stuff. I mean, I do play some small characters in Split Fiction, which is another sort of massive game that came out recently. Another sort of game of the year contender. But this has been, Split Fiction, they did a sort of a big press thing, didn't they? I think they did a big screening, which I think was, again, sort of unusual. But the thing about this game, and I mean, a lot of the time you don't really know what you're working on until it's kind of out a lot of the time, because obviously NDAs and wanting to keep things under wraps. This game was a bit different because, and I mean, Jennifer English and Ben Starr have said this as well. they really just kept us in the loop the whole way. I mean, when you get a demo request or a self-tape request, via your agent, and you get some sides, some bits of script, and a little bit of character bio, and you might get a picture, and you kind of do it and just sort of give it your best shot and hope for the best. Hope you're in the right ballpark, and then you just kind of then forget about it. And then if you get an offer, oh great. It's funny, Ben and Jen both saying, oh yeah, it's definitely a yes from me. I'm just thinking, well, I say yes to everything. But they sent, or when it was a yes, I remember my voice agent said, oh, I think this might be a good one. Because
Wow.
not just about the number of hours that were kind of allocated, but also it just looked really cool. And they sent through all this material, like this 500-page script, all this sort of side
Wow.
stuff, all these character backstories, all this artwork, which looked amazing. There was this kind of pitch deck type thing, which was all this glossy PDF of images from the game and stuff. And it was just like, I don't remember getting this much information on anything before. And then, throughout it, we'd have, little WhatsApp messages from Jen, the writer, and Guillaume just saying, oh, and Jack from Keeble would say, here's the plan. We've got some various videos coming out, so I knew early on that we'd have a cast reveal trailer that I wouldn't be in. I would be announced as a cast member in a press release, and I would have something to come later. So we kind of knew what was happening, and then like Jen would message me going, oh, there should be a new Monoco trailer coming up soon. Think you're going to like that. So yeah, we were kind of just all really in the loop, and it was kind of, well, it was really great. I mean, it was also a bit frustrating because it's like, oh God, this game is looking great, and I can't really talk about it.
Right.
I mean, even now, I don't really want to talk about the game too much because, as I said, people are just getting into it, and
Right.
I think we've all agreed that we don't want to spoil anything because we want people to discover things,
True.
for themselves. Like when we did the press thing, like Ben Starr's there, and like the guy asked him, he said, have you got any
Oh, yeah.
favorite lines? He was just like,
Right.
yeah, but I can't tell you what they are.
Yeah. True.
And he can't really talk about his character at all. I mean, even my character is a bit spoilery, how we sort of, when he turns up and stuff. So, but there's so much else to talk about, like how great the team are and how great it looks. And I mean, when we turned up, to do those, do those cutscenes and stuff, it was like, it looked like it kind of does now. It's just like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And it just sort of blew us all away. We knew it was a good thing, and it's wonderful that it has turned out to be a good thing.
Yeah. It has definitely turned out to be like insane. I think a lot of people minds have been blown, like, oh, it's this good. They never expected. Everything is landing, like the emotional factors of the game or emotional storytelling of the game is literally landing, and they're feeling it, and then all of that. And it's interesting to know that you got every kind of like all the characters traits and everything, and probably even the script as well. And you said that that's kind of like a different, but I'm curious to know like how that audition process was like. Do you remember the day of the audition of what you had to do?
Oh God. I mean, I'm fortunate that I do get quite a lot of auditions for things, and I've kind of gone into that mindset over the years of just kind of doing an audition like you're doing the job. You're just enjoying it, not overthinking it, not getting stressed about it, just kind of doing it like you're doing it, and then kind of forgetting about it. So my audition for that, and this is funny looking back on it now. I remember reading that they sent me some sides of the scene with excuse me, I mean, I don't think it's very spoilery, but it's a scene that I've seen 1,000 times now on the internet of
Right.
I will never join you again. There will be a lot of
Mhm.
fighting though. Oh
Right.
yeah, that's true, there will be a lot of fighting. Count me in then. It was literally, I mean, that's one of the funniest scenes I've ever done, but that was my audition thing as well. And I remember reading this, and it was just, Monoco, deep booming voice. And I was like, okay, I've done that on a lot of games. I sort of, I played a lot of creatures in my time. But reading it, I was just like, this is actually quite funny, and that's kind of unusual. So I was like, what's the tone here? I'm playing this sort of big, you know, uh, creature, and they had a picture of him, with his mask on and sort of no visible face. And I was like, oh yeah, well, what is the tone of this? So I just kind of did it really deadpan, I think, which is how I did it on the day as well. And you know, they obviously liked it, and that was it. It was just, yeah, did the audition, kind of forgot about it, and then got the offer with my voice agent going, I think this might be a good one for you.
Yeah, and I think when I was playing the game, I was streaming it like live, and some people would come by and kind of confuse your voice with Andy Serkis.
Oh,
And be like,
right.
oh yeah, and they're like, oh, is that Andy Serkis? I'm like, no, that Andy Serkis is playing a different role. Here's another actor, and he's doing like kind of like probably is the voice kind of same note. Have you ever heard that before? Like people kind of see, especially with this game, like kind of confusing you with Andy Serkis' voice.
Well, it's funny. No, I wasn't aware of people confusing me with Andy personally, but I have seen online people thinking that it was Ben doing my voice.
Mm,
And really, if you think about it, you know, with Ben, me, and Andy, it is kind of a bit of a competition of the deep voices
right.
in some respects, trying to out deep voice each other. But I mean, Monoco is like the deepest voice I can do and maintain, basically. You know, I mean, obviously, I don't. Well, I suppose my voice is quite deep, but you know, I don't talk like that in real life. But um, yeah, yeah, I did see some people because no one knows who I am, obviously. Well, I mean, they seem to now, but you know, before this game, oh, is that Ben Starr doing that, or is he doing both characters? And then some people who worked it out, you know, just a simple Google would correct them. Funnily enough, actually, my I've seen a few comments about, and I might do a video about this actually, because one of the characters I play is the man in the bin or trash
Mm,
can man.
trash can. Yeah.
I've seen a few people saying, "Is that David Tennant online?"
Right.
And Guillaume sent me an email. He said, "Look at this, someone's," and I've seen it on TikTok video. Is this David Tennant? I'm just how bizarre. They think that's David Tennant with me just doing this sort of silly 1950s Cockney accent in a bloke in a bin. But yes, that scene. Funnily enough, I must say this because I mean Ben Starr must have some sort of crystal ball, or whether it's just his experience in
Right.
games. But he said to me over that brunch that he paid for, very generous guy. He said people will clip that scene between us. You know, there will be a lot of fighting. Oh yeah, good, good,
Right.
good. Yes, yes, good. He said people will clip that, and I was just oh, okay, interestingly. And of course, he's right. I've seen it everywhere. I've seen it
Yeah.
so many times, and I know
It's everywhere.
yesterday on TikTok, Billy, who my friend who plays Sophie in the game, she sent me a TikTok yesterday of a bloke just when you obviously you take the audio on TikTok and you just mime to it. I mean that's basically what TikTok is, isn't it?
Right.
But you know, it's like a bloke doing both parts of just that scene. I'll never join you again. There will be a lot of fighting though. Oh yeah, that's true. There will be a lot of fighting. Count me in then. And then I clicked on it and I see that loads of other people have done it. So people are recreating that scene.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
sort of it's become this thing and a really memeable thing, which is
It is.
bizarre but great. Good. Good,
Good.
good, good.
Good.
Yes, good. You know, it's just so.
Who would have thought? I mean,
Oh,
yeah, it's amazing to see how that one particular scene, I think, has taken so many people's attention, and that's the scene that people share. And it's a lovely scene. I think it's a wonderful scene, as it's like everything is so serious around the game, and a world event is happening, people are dying, and this that, and the other, and then there are these two guys who are just having this humorous like moment, and it just clicks, and like, oh, this is great, like, and they've shared it everywhere. It's very very cool, and
yeah.
even like I was watching like the BTS video, the official behind the scenes video that Sandfall Interactive kind of shared, and it was interesting to see how you guys had this big monitor and the scenes were playing, and you guys kind of like recording that. Is that how it went all the time? Was the scene already made, all the cutscenes, or the process was different and this was kind of recorded for a different purpose?
Well, I mean that BTS. I mean, obviously, this is a glimpse behind the curtain here, the magic of
Right.
television. I mean, that was sort of cheated a bit. I mean, we'd already recorded those lines
Right.
properly, and we're just sort of faking it for the camera. Although that putain merde stuff,
Mm.
I think maybe that was we were really recording. Yeah. Anyway, I think we were redoing some lines that we'd already done. Just to
Right.
prove that we weren't just messing about. And I mean, I wouldn't know. I mean, I was obviously being a complete idiot in front of the camera. Done that thing with a bottle. And I was like, oh God, what am I doing? I hate myself. But anyway, I mean, but that was literally the studio that we were recording in, and we would record, yeah, individually with that mic in front of that screen. And yeah, normally, so if it's something you're not syncing to a cutscene, so if it's just like the grunts and the other noises and the stuff
Right.
for just those dialogue scenes, when you're getting to know the characters, we'd record all that, wild, as in we're just
Mm.
recording it, but it's all on a spreadsheet in front of you. But when you're doing the actual cutscenes, it's kind of a bit more ADR like, which you might do for TV and film as well, where you've got the
Right.
cutscene then, and then someone has very cleverly got the words
Mm.
scrolling at the bottom so that you come in at the right time and say the line in the amount of seconds that you need to. But you're also trying to sync it to the mouth movements.
Right.
Now, of course, I had a wonderful job because, of course, Monoco doesn't have a visible mouth.
Easy.
So, I really lucked out there. But yeah, that's the way it went. Because all that, I mean, people do ask these same questions, and why wouldn't you? But yeah, the mocap was done in France beforehand,
Right.
and then we kind of, essentially ADR'd the stuff over the top, and we did it individually as well. Because again, people go, oh, that's like even the scene that we've
Right.
talked about. I think Ben had recorded his lines first, and then they were fed in, and then I did mine.
Mm.
So hats off to, well, Ben for being a great actor, meaning that my performance fed off his, but also, I don't know, the editing, that it sounds like we're there together, but
Yeah.
we weren't. It's all faked.
It's
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 a
all
it's a
faked.
it's a ruse.
It's all
We're
a
messing
ruse.
with you.
By the way, did you know that you can watch more of this conversation and all other episodes of Behind the Voice podcast? Well, to do that, you have to become a member of the channel. You not only get extended episodes, but you also get early guest announcements, and your questions that you want to ask to the guest will 100% be picked by me. And this is also a great way to help support my channel a little bit more. So consider becoming a member of the channel and help support this podcast and this channel a little bit more. Now let's continue with that conversation. I want to know from you, like you were talking about how you see, like you had an image of Monaco. What did you think when you like saw that image and even saw the cutscenes and how it is? Like, what was your reaction at the time? Like, oh, this is my character. Okay, interesting.
Well, I mean, I've got a running joke with my voice agent about how I never play humans. And we saw this image of him, because you got the images of all. I think they put all the characters in there, and then you got my character. And at first, I was just like, "What the fuck is that?" Because obviously he's got the face, the mask on. I was just like, what is going on there? It took me a while to kind of work it out. I mean, obviously, when I saw some animations of him, and I mean, actually, they did send through some videos as well for us to watch, which I think helped. So yeah, it kind of made sense once I kind of saw a bit more of him. I'm still not sure where his voice comes from.
Yeah, that's a good question.
But perhaps it's best we don't know. Yeah, and my voice agent was like, let me get this. Let me guess. Your character is the one without a face. And I was just like, absolutely right. Of course he is. Of course he is.
Of
I
course.
think actually I did play a human like just before I recorded. Just before I started on Expedition 33, I did do a human in New World Eternum at Side. But
Mm.
prior to that, I think I'd done only a couple of jobs at Side. The most recent of which, again, knowing this thing that I never play humans, I think they sent this thing through, and it was like, oh yeah, you're going to be playing. It was something like Frank or something. I was just like, great, playing a human. Oh, thank God, And then I went in, or I realized just beforehand, it's zombies. Okay.
Mm.
So not only is it not a human, it's one of the hardest sort of voices to do.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Monoco, he's very human-like, isn't he? He's very
Yes.
articulate, and he's learnt the English language. So yeah, I kind of think of him as I don't think of him as a creature, really, I suppose. Yes, and the good thing about Monoco, and I've had this pointed out online, is that he's not just a comic relief character. He does have depth. He does have some emotional, some pretty emotional stuff going on. So he's not sort of one note.
Right.
I think it was nice, and I'm very lucky that the way he came into the whole promotional thing was he was a nice sort of tonal shift in the trailers. Now, I know some people didn't watch all the trailers because they wanted to kind of go in a bit blind, but we had all this kind of bleak stuff coming in with the promotional campaign, and then suddenly you've got this. What the hell is this? With the funky soundtrack, and they put all these great lines in. No, what was it? No distraction, son. I'm busy beating up strangers. Style away, and all these things. It was just such a lovely tonal shift. But then when you meet him and you hang out with him, you kind of learn a bit more about his relationship with other characters, and all the stuff with Golgra, and there's a lot more depth there, and I think that's what's so great about him. He is comic relief, but he is also, I mean, if you've played the whole game, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
No spoilers here.
No spoilers. No, in that, not going that far. But yeah, I mean, like you mentioned like earlier, like with the music, and I was so distracted by the music that I thought, oh, we are fighting him, but this music, like, can we please pause and I just want to listen to this music? It's so cool when we're fighting Monaco. It's such a cool, fun, funky music. I was like, where did this come from? This was unexpected. So I thought, like, okay, like immediately you kind of feel like, okay, he's probably more of a comic relief, but at the same time, later on as you go, you find out like, oh, there's a lot of things that we don't know, and there's a lot of things that he is kind of suppressing, and then we get to find out a little bit more about him. So it's very interesting how much depth there is. But one of the biggest things, like, obviously we have talked about so many times, like that scene between Verso and Monaco, and what do you think is that such a relationship, like so unique relationship between Verso and Monaco, that they just gel together so well?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's a spoiler to say that they've known each other a long time, and Verso calls him his oldest friend, doesn't he? And they do have that kind of, they do have a lot of warmth and all that banter, and sort of snuggling and polishing Nevron legs together and things. I think that scene is great because it immediately shows that they've got a history together. And they're very at ease with each other, aren't they? Monaco looks like he's having a bit of a strop and he's not interested. And then you just need to remind him that there's a lot of fighting, and then he changes his mind very quickly. I think, that whole relationship between them is just really nice, and So I rambled on a bit there, and I might have forgotten what the question was.
I mean, it's fun to see the uniqueness basically between these two characters, because there's a moment, obviously it's kind of like spoilery, but like there's a moment where later on they kind of like reminiscing about their past and like what they've done. Like he was under this building for a long time, and like, did you remember like you left me and all that stuff? So they had like this back and forth going on for the entire night, supposedly.
Yes, I mean, that thing about the building was one of the ones. I mean, that's not even my line, but it's one of the funniest lines. I just always remember it. I think there was a few lines that I remembered, because obviously, you record something, then you kind of forget about it because you're jumping about all over the place. But I think one of the lines that I always remembered was, that time you were stuck under a building for a year. It's it killed me. I had to have a few goes at, because as I say, that's not my line, but when I would have to come in, I would just be laughing because so many of those lines are so funny. I think I was messaging Jen, the writer, going, is that line about the building still in there? She was just like, yeah, that's still in there. I was just, oh, good. You can cut everything else. That's fine.
That's it. I need that building, another buildings in here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel very blessed and very, hashtag grateful that I've had so many great lines in this game. I mean, this game is riddled with me saying great lines. I mean, not just with him, but with Francois and, I mean, even the Expedition 60 journal that is, the nude one. And I think, is it Expedition 66 with about the mushrooms? I mean, that's me as well. I mean, there's loads of silly stuff, and the trash can man, and even those characters that you bump into all within a few meters of each other in the prologue, which all sound the same, which are all me, and they're just saying silly things. It's just they did give me a lot of really cool stuff to do, which I'm very grateful for. As I say, this game is riddled with me. You're always worried as an actor that you're going to be cut out of something. You're just like, well, can't cut me out of this. No chance.
I play all of them. There's only a few other characters that you get to see, but everybody else is me. So
it's funny because Alyona, who's in the game, and she's Baldur's Gate 3, and Jennifer English's partner. They did a stream the other day, and of course there's a few characters you meet in the prologue which are voiced by Aliona. If I'm saying the name correctly. You sort of see all quite close to each other, and then you just go a little bit further, and then you meet all these characters. It's literally 4 characters that are all voiced by me. So that's like Aliona Plaza, and then they said that, and then it's Rich Region after that.
Beautiful.
And I just logged onto a Twitch stream completely randomly, and I saw somebody talking to the guy in the bin, and then they spoke to Nicholas the painter, who's me, then Maxime, is it, the drunk guy, and then I think it's Florian or something, who's got a very suspicious accent, who is just a bit annoying.
Right.
And then you move on. I think Ben Starr plays one of those characters somewhere in there as well. It's interesting because that all comes under the credit of additional voices, you see, so you kind of forget who's done what. But yeah, it's great. I'm very, very, very fortunate to have had so much fun on the game.
Did mention about like not really talking about spoilers, but I do want to kind of mention a couple of spoilery part, and obviously people have not played it, they have to skip part from this part because it's going to be a little bit of spoilery. But there's a one part in where it kind of like very beginning, towards the kind of beginning of Monoco's kind of play, is where Monoco wants to clear this building, and he clears it, and that creates a separation, separates the 2 characters. And at that point, Monoco is crying because, I wanted to show off. Like, what is exactly happening at that point in time where he starts all of a sudden just emotional and crying because he did something that he thought would be nice?
Yeah, well, I think that's an interesting scene because it does sort of show a more human side to people. But, I remember at the time, I was just, I was sort of crying, or, doing a hopefully acceptable version of crying in Monoco's voice. And it was kind of a truthful thing. He's sort of, because Verso says, doesn't he? He said, you go on, show off.
Yeah.
And then he knocks all these buildings down and it kind of separates people from one another. I just wanted to show off. I'm so sorry. He's genuinely upset about that, and I think that's a good introduction to his emotional depth because he just he's obviously impulsive. He changes his mind quickly. The thought of a duel to calm down is very exciting to him. He just went overboard and maybe didn't realize his own strength and knocked all these buildings down, and then realized that he caused a bit of a conundrum, a bit of a pickle, and he was very upset about it. I think that's a good scene to kind of show you that he's not some one-note comic character. He does have some emotional depth, and he does care about people because he is loyal. He does have a human side and a kind of a parental side, and like all of us, he makes mistakes sometimes.
You mentioned like it shows much later in the game as well, where someone kind of gets passed away, and like it really affects him and how he is. It feels like it all of a sudden like he has gone silent all of a sudden, and like because of what happened, and kind of maybe he is no longer there, and maybe blames himself. Like, what do you think? Like at that point in time, because obviously, like he cares about who he is with. Like you really get to see much more of his emotional side of things. Like, what do you think is happening at that point in time in his mind? Like, has he let someone down? Like, is that something that might be going through his head?
I think because they've got this whole kind of, they kind of reincarnate. Is this spoilery? But they do kind of almost become each other's parents in a way, and the whole thing with the river. I think, I think he did think that he'd let people down, and that's why he was so desperate to kind of rectify it as quickly as possible by sort of jumping the queue and having the fallout with Golgra. So I think he just desperately wanted to make things right for what he perceived as letting people down. Fun fact, I actually did do a voice for Golgra in one of the sessions. They asked me to do that, but then they decided to redo it so that Monoco was the only English speaker, which makes sense. At the time, I was like, what? but yes, it was the right call. I think it's funny that all the gestural speak the same way. Just for the viewers, my cup has become invisible for the
Yeah.
YouTube viewers because I've got a silly background on. But yes, I think it was the right call. All the gestural speak the gestural speak, and Monoco is the one that's been taught English.
Well, before we continue with this episode, I just want to say that if you want to watch more, consider subscribing. There's more video games coming up, which means there's more interviews that will be coming to this podcast. So consider subscribing if you enjoy these episodes. Well, one of the things that Monaco loves doing is like in a fight, if he lands a final blow, whatever it is, he would collect feet. And that's something that he loves to do. Is there something that you love collecting yourself?
The feet of my enemies. I think we better talk about that off air. I think there might be some legal repercussions.
Yeah, I think so.
To answer your question, no, I don't collect feet.
Okay. But is there anything else? Is there anything else that you collect?
Oh, anything else? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I do collect. I mean, this sounds incredibly wankery, but I do collect like running medals. I mean, obviously you can't see them behind me because I've got a background on, but I do like to run quite a bit, and I do enter races and I do have a collection of running medals. I mean, beautiful. And I'm not winning anything. It's like a well done for paying and turning up. Here's your medal, that type of thing. My kids would go, "Oh, did you win?" And I'd be like, "No, I just paid and turned up, so I got this medal." I do have a few guitars, I suppose. I used to collect CDs, and I got rid of loads of those. I used to collect key rings actually as a child.
Ooh, but that's awesome.
Stop that. But yeah, I've had to learn, through living in various flats and doing things like getting divorced. I've had to learn to and remarried. I've had to learn to kind of have less stuff. We don't really live in a particularly big flat, and I need to sort of rationalize stuff. So yeah, I think I have a few guitars, which all have different purposes, and I do collect stuff that I get given. I'm just looking up at a shelf here where I have some stuff that I've got off various TV shows or been sent for games. So I guess I collect nice stuff that people give me. I won't get it down because I knock loads of stuff down. But like, for example, the Expedition 33 team, they did give me a nice framed print of Monoco, which they'd written a nice sort of thank you thing on the back of. But yeah, I think as I've got older, I've kind of got used to just having less stuff, which is good for the mind. I think good for the brain.
Aside from we have seen like Monaco having this relationship with Verso, but aside from him, who do you think like Monaco would have a stronger relationship with if he had to choose between Lune, CL, Mael, and SQ?
Well, I suppose the quick answer is SQ, isn't it? Because they go way back. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he's quite easy. I think he's quite an easy sort of sociable kind of guy, isn't he? I think he gets on with everyone. I mean, why wouldn't you? You just want to cuddle him, don't you? Unless he's been shaved and put in those swimming trunks.
My God. That's the one you want to see. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's a very likable character. I mean, I think a lot of people. I think maybe does Esquire just about edge him for sort of favorite character with a lot of people. A lot of people love Esquire. So yeah, I think Monoco and Esquire sort of have a synergy, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he's just I think Monoco wants to be liked.
Definitely.
I mean, all the banter is with Verso, isn't it? Because they go way back. It's just kind of mates bantering. Because they've got that history together.
And I think a lot of people like that side of like, oh yeah, these two guys. We want to see them talk to each other or like have that banter continue over and over again, and they'll love it and they'll keep that have that all the time. But as you as an actor, you have given so much to Monaco. You've given him that life that obviously the writers and the directors wanted, and now we get to see it. Which in turn, Monaco as a character has learned so much from you. Is there something that you have learned from Monaco?
Oh gosh, something I've learned from Monaco. God, I don't know. I suppose the loyalty and standing up for what you believe in, not being a dick, owning your mistakes. Yeah, looking after people, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because he's there for them, isn't he? I mean,
Yeah.
I know it seems like he's just there for fighting, but I mean, he wouldn't. He could have changed his mind again, couldn't he?
Yeah.
If it was something very surface level. Yeah, be loyal. Yeah, have people in your life that love and respect you.
Mm.
I suppose
Yeah.
that's what I'd learned. That's what I'd learned from Monoco. And also, yeah, hang around in red speedos as much as possible.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
There you
that's
go.
what I've
Something
learned
to
from
learn.
Monoco. And also, yeah, maybe just obscure your face as
That's good. Yeah.
well, because
No
then
need to
people
show.
don't know quite what you're thinking.
Yeah. It's like having
Yeah,
those sunglasses, and they never know your expression, maybe from your eyes or
exactly.
something. I don't know.
Yeah, wear
Mask
sunglasses and wear a mask.
and a
Yeah,
mask. Yeah. There we
or
go.
just wear a mask.
Wear
Like
a
of
mask.
a clown or something, or someone else's face. That would be weird. I don't
That
know.
would be. I think now that is going into the creepy territory.
I could walk around in a Ben Starr mask, maybe one. I don't know. Like people have those Mr. Bean masks, don't they? With like you
Oh my
find them
god.
in like touristy areas of London. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's I think if I feel like if next time you get into a game, you just wear a mask and like I'm Ben Starr. You're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you're Ben Starr in this game, and that's you. And it'll be fun.
Hello, I'm Ben Starr. Um, yeah.
Mm.
Funny. I mean, Monoco. Obviously, you can't see his face, but actually, I mean, this is down to the artists and the animators. But I mean, he does. He's still pretty expressive without that face.
Mm. Yeah.
A few people have said that to me. You just know what he's thinking, even though he hasn't got a face.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
more kudos to them.
Mm. And he definitely has like the one liner answers most of the time. Like just one line, and it's like probably sometimes just a reaction to something that people are asking. And I like that about him. Like, yeah, he's not gonna explain a whole lot. He's just gonna say one thing and just gonna move on. It's usually he's like he says it and just kind of turns away. I like that part.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things of him actually is when he hasn't even got a line. It's when he goes, "You found worthy friends, Verso." Yeah, jealous, and he just gives a look.
Yeah.
It's just a look.
It's just a look.
That's one of my favorite things. That cracks me up as well.
Yeah. And people
Yeah,
just know. Like
people just know, just a little look, a little look over the shoulder. Yeah, he's a great character. Yeah, I'm very very lucky to have voiced him and hopefully be associated with him so much
yeah.
that they let me play him in the film. I don't know. Who
Oh
knows?
yeah.
That would be good.
That'd be great. I know that's like obviously the film adaptation is happening. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, obviously, when the game came out, there's already news out. Like, oh, there's an adaptation going on. Like, did you ever think like a video game adaptation will be that quick? And what are your thoughts in general about it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's because they announced it even before the game had come
The
out,
game
didn't
came
they?
out.
Which I don't remember that happening before. I don't know. It's a funny thing, isn't it? Because I'd love to be involved in it, and I mean, secretly, don't tell anyone.
Hmm,
But because presumably he'd be some sort of CGI or something. I would think that maybe I
possibly.
would get to play him. In the voice. I mean, I'd love to do that if they were thinking about it, because you never know who they're going to cast in what role.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess you just think I just hope it wouldn't be rubbish.
Yeah.
I just hope it wouldn't take anything away from the game. But I mean, if Sandfall are involved and are allowed to kind of make certain choices and stuff, then I mean, maybe it could be amazing, because it's obviously such a great story.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, it could be a wonderful thing. But I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, who knows? Who knows? I guess the thing in this game is, as in the acting game, is not to kind of dwell too much on what could happen, because things can go in so many different directions. If you overthink everything, which I do, you can you can really get pretty anxious about the whole thing. But yeah, we'll see what happens. The decisions will be made that are out of anyone's control, as they often are as an actor, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, but I'd love to do more. I'd love to do more of him. I mean, it's fun doing these lines again. It's fun, like doing little cameos for people, like doing yeah, talking in his voice, because it is a fun voice to do.
Yeah. I
Uh,
bet. Do you think that you would be hoping that there's a little bit more to him that than was in the game, that you would like to expand a little bit more to his story or character?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, if there were a way to do that, I would love to. I mean, I was really gutted when we finished. I was like, oh, is that it? Oh, 'cause I love those sessions so much. And we've all been gushing about how great the sessions were, but yeah, it's true. Jen, the lead writer, and Guillaume were there the whole time. Joe, the voice director from Side, and Rob, and I think Lawrence sort of engineering it, and people from Kepler would turn up. Yeah, it was just such a great vibe, and it was just, oh great, I've got another session booked in, because either it'd be Monoco or can you do this random voice as well? It's just really fun, and then when it was the last one, it's just like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a shame. Can you not just write a bit more? Can you not just squeeze him in a bit more?
Yeah. Can we just create another DLC, maybe add something more to it? Or yeah,
Monoco DLC. Yeah, that'd be great.
that'd be great. I would love
Yeah.
to play it. One of the things that is very fascinating to me, and like probably for you maybe, is like there's so much video game stories that are being told now, adaptations are being made. But when you got into acting, did you ever think that video games could be a path?
Maybe not originally. No, I mean, I started a bit late. I didn't start thinking about getting into acting until I was 30. So, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and I used to love a lot of British sitcoms like Blackadder and Bottom, and sketch shows like French and Saunders and Fry and Laurie, all this stuff that was kind of shot in front of a live audience, and was sort of acted in a certain way. I kind of wanted to get into that type of thing. I kind of thought, yeah, I want to be like a TV comedy comedian. I want to kind of go out there and do stuff in front of a live audience, multicam thing, and just that's what I kind of wanted to do. I was never really drawn to the stage, although I have done theatre, I have done live comedy, and it's a great feeling. But yeah, I kind of wanted to get into screen stuff, and I think the voice acting kind of, yeah, it caught my eye or caught my ear when I was just sort of getting into it, really. So yeah, I do remember saying to my voice agent, I'd love to get into some video game acting, and yeah, and then they kind of excuse me, helped me get into it. Um, yeah, because it's very different from on camera stuff, and yeah, you can play such different characters that you can play on camera. I mean, I'm very lucky that I've got some, returning characters in some TV shows that I've done, and I'm about to start filming, and I'm immensely grateful for that. But I am basically playing middle-aged bald guys, and I don't tend to do that so much in video games. I play everything in video games. I joked about not playing humans, but I did play Frank Fairburn in Strange Brigade, who is a tough soldier. I'd never play a tough soldier on camera. Look at me. But also, characters like Monoco and all the other sort of horrible beasts I played. Like, well, I mean, I love bringing up the fact that I was in Lord of the Rings Gollum. Um, and doing the mouth of Sauron in that. I mean, that was it's so fun, playing these sort of characters that I don't,
Right.
I mean, I'd love to play them on camera. I'd love to do some more sort of fantastical things. But yeah, I think that was the thing. I just thought, yeah, it doesn't matter what you look like. You can play whatever you kind of can get away with in audio only and in video games. And also, I mean, the community of video games is so great. I mean, the subsection of the video game community that were attacking me over Gollum are not so great, but even then, they're passionate, and they care about Lord of the Rings. Um, yeah, people are just generally lovely. I think I've only seen one. I don't think I've seen. I haven't really seen any negative comments about this game or anything I've posted about it. Apart from some people going, they don't use Monoco in their party for whatever reason. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
well, that's your
Well,
loss.
yeah.
Good, good luck not having him in your party. That's all I can tell you.
Good luck fighting those
Um,
other bosses that you fight. Yeah,
yeah,
you will win, sure.
yeah. Oh, good luck, mate. I think the only slightly negative character I've seen is on a video I posted on TikTok, which has had like far more views than I feel comfortable with. Where I think someone just said, "What happened to your hair?" I was just like, "Oh, well, it fell out." But generally, it's been really positive, And yeah, I had a lot of hate over the Golem game. We haven't gone into this, thankfully, but yeah, I was in these commercials for a few years, 10 years ago, and a lot of people slagged me off for those commercials online. So I've had a lot of people moaning about me on the internet, and it's nice when they're being nice. So I think that's we're kind of going full circle, aren't we now? So but part of the reason I kind of have been looking up, I like looking up what people are saying about the character, is I'm so used to finding people, wanting me to die somehow. It's quite nice to have people appreciating something I've done in something that's good.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'm very thankful for it. I'm very thankful for everyone watching or listening to this. If you've said something nice to me, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because I'm very insecure and I'm constantly dying inside. So it helps. It helps with validation. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people now like know you because of this game, and they're reaching out or that they're sharing these stories, and they get to know like, oh yeah, this guy, he's the actor, Rich Keeble, so he has played this character, and they get to know more about him, and so it's really cool that people are sharing these nice things, and I'm so happy that you brought this character to us, like in your way. Obviously, there's a lot of writing that happened beforehand, but also you also are responsible for bringing this character to us and making it fun for all of us. And now it's our turn to kind of like give something back, and that giving something back could be positive and instead of being negative. And I think a lot of people know that, especially for a game with the community that there is with this game, people know that, hey, it's better to share something positive than being all assholey about it.
Yeah, don't be all arseholey about it. I should also say that the Good Omens community have been very lovely to me as well. I should say that. But yes, it's nice, and it will be nice to hopefully get to meet some people. Because I mean
Yeah.
we will be doing some appearance stuff. At some point, and yeah, it's nice to meet people who are kind. I mean, you kind of think, I mean, I've done these things for Good Omens, and you kind of turn up thinking, well, who the hell gives a shit about me? And it's really nice when people do like something that you've done, and
Mm.
yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of, yeah, I don't know, thanking people for taking it to heart, and being lovely about it. And I think, yeah, it's a nice community. Part of the reason I like watching people streaming it is because it's, I mean, I've watched more gameplay of this game than anything else I've ever done. I mean, even the demo, I watched hours of people playing that, and I'm not even in it. But I've enjoyed jumping on streams, because we met, there was a few streamers that we met at the press junket, and there's a few that I've sort of just sort of reached out to on social media, and they've been very receptive. Yeah, jumping in a stream and just seeing everyone enjoying, playing a bit of the game that people in the chat might have already actually seen, but they're just sort of rewatching it with the streamer they like, and being kind of respectful and not spoiling it, at the same time. It's really nice, Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's been great. I mean, I've been kind of drowning in messages and getting really, you know, bad at replying to people, but it's just, yeah, it's a nice situation to be in.
Do you think
Um,
that you will be able to play it or get a chance to play this game?
well, I don't have the means at the moment. I don't have a console. I don't have a TV to plug it into. I don't have a powerful laptop. The laptop I'm talking to you on now doesn't even have the hard drive space to download the game. So I'm a bit yeah, screwed in that regard. But and also, I don't play a lot of games, so I'm just terrible at them. But I do enjoy watching them, and I was thinking I might do a friend of mine is a big gamer, and we were thinking we might try and do a joint stream at some point. Now I've said it out loud, so maybe we will try and do it. But yeah, it would be kind of maybe him playing the game and me just heckling him, and maybe just as an excuse to talk to people in the chat, really. Which I think is, I mean, when Jen and Aliona did they're doing a stream, and it's quite sort of chatty and just sort of, yeah. I think that might be quite nice to sort of engage with people in real time. But yeah, I mean, I would love to, but at the moment, I'm just sort of watching a load of it. People playing the game who are far better at it than I am, and yeah, I'm enjoying that.
Thank you everybody for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And I want to shout out all the members of the channel who have helped support this podcast a lot more. So big shout out to Pistolo, NT Singh, the Pinoy Boy. This is my super awesome username. Jay, Martin Seti, The Art of Interactive Storytelling. That's Kenneth Guy, Luke Dale, Gabricha, Arte, Rina Cujo, Santino Durizotto, Commander Squeaks, and Eric Davies. Thank you all for becoming a member of the channel, and thank you for supporting this podcast all this time. I really appreciate you. And if you haven't watched all the episodes of the podcast, well, click the link in the description below or check out the video right after this to watch more.